I'm really excited to lead our panel today on talking about water, talking about what we can do to make water cleaner, because it affects all of us. It affects the economy, it affects wildlife, and of course it affects our quality of life. But I wanted just to start with a look at a different kind of issue beyond blue-green algae that affects the quality of water, and that's plastic pollution. 18 billion pounds of plastic comes into the oceans every year. Half of the plastic ever made has been produced in the last 15 years, which means we can't keep up with disposing of it.
It's a matter of helping people understand that the slight little changes in their lifestyle can actually make a difference, and then being able to reinforce it with the large brands that are the biggest contributors to it. It's not to shun them like many do, but it's to work with them, to understand their issues that they have with their own packaging and how can we solve that together through technology and various other instruments. So I think that's how you create some real change.
You don't have to come to Florida on St. Patrick's Day to see blue-green algae. The smell alone literally takes your breath away.
We'll start with one thing, is we have to start putting more emphasis on preventing pollution from entering the system in the first place. Prevention is the key, and it's the cheapest, most economical way that we are going to solve the downstream problems.
This is a tourism, hospitality sector, and 125 million people come into this state annually. They're not all going to amusement parks. They're here to recreate on our waterways, and that's why political will and the leadership that we're seeing now is so incredibly important.
Well, I think the one thing we haven't touched on is the impacts of climate change on the state of Florida. I mean, if you looked at what happened with Hurricane Irma, right? If we had had that 10 to 15 foot storm surge coming through Naples, this conference might not be taking place today. Businesses would just be getting back on their feet. So I think number one, I think climate change is going to have an impact, and I think this is the largest issue of our generations. Number two, we better do a good job educating the next generation about how to be more sustainable. And number three, what will it look like? We have to be able to move towards eliminating pollution from the source. The losses of impact to the environment have to be calculated into decision making to incentivize better decisions. And that would be, in 50 years, if we could have turned that and created incentives for sustainable, smart solutions as opposed to solutions that add pollution that we don't account for the cost, I think we'll have made significant progress.